We got bought, we've been bought 4 times in the last 10 years. We're getting quite good at it. But a product that we've just launched is Cyber Liability Insurance. So presumably after David's talk, I don't have to do much of a presentation. You just buy a policy on your way out. But what I wanted to do, I wanted to start this off slightly differently. I want to start off with a Q&A, right, with a bit of a difference. So I'm going to ask you the questions, okay? How many of you are business owners or senior people? Just a show of hands. Okay, good. How many of you rent or lease your own property or own a property? Okay. How many of you own, rent or lease a computer system? Okay, good show of hands. Good. How many of you are responsible for buying insurance?
You are.
How many of you buy property insurance, including fire? Okay, here's my last question is, how many of you buy a cyber policy?
Well, we do, don't we?
We've got one.
Not yet. That's what Gary's here for.
So let's just go back to the one, hands up, who buys a property policy with fire? Come on up, indulge me. Okay, good. Okay. What do you think that means? 6 times.
More likely.
Something you're not going to want to hear. You may want to ignore it. Anyone shocked by that? So all those of you who buy fire insurance, buy property insurance, okay, just remember where you're more vulnerable from. Because remember, if fire just burns down your bricks and mortar, your computers and everything else are still going to be safe. Okay? But you're 6 times more likely to have somebody attack your computer systems. And as David's just pointed out, there are a lot of ways of being able to do it. Now, I ran out of space on this slide to put a sort of an explanation for all of them, but things like smishing, some of these I've never heard of myself either. Victims manipulated via SMS messages, victims manipulated via telephone calls, government impersonators, tax refunds. You've all been told about the tax refund you got coming? Okay. Whaling, so it's a fake boss scam where your accounts team get an email from a person claiming to be the managing director saying, I've just met someone, I want to buy the business, you need to transfer £10,000 to this account straight away. It happens, okay? People have been caught. Fake goods and service, I was explaining to David earlier. I was in the shower the other day, my wife came and said, what have you bought on iTunes recently for 40 quid? You know, it's like, oh, forget that, it's just a scam. Someone's saying, if you haven't bought this on iTunes, click here and we'll refund you the money. Don't click it, okay? Online gaming, David briefly touched on it. Malware downloads. I don't do online gaming, but if anybody else in here does do it, I'm presuming you're aware of certain things that can go on there, which are not necessarily good. Fake investments, public Wi-Fi interception, ransomware and hacking, packaging delivery scams, heartbreak, online dating sites. They're attacking you through online dating sites, farming, poison bills, etc. It just goes on and on and on. 4.7 million reported business cybercrime in 2017, a 67% increase from the previous year. 1.18 billion reported fraud and computer misuse incidents in the UK. 68% year-on-year rise in reported cybercrime. 47,000 reports each month to UK action fraud. This isn't a small problem, okay? People are getting in, people are taking money. According to the FBI, 1,300% rise in the last 18 months reported email scams. Okay? I don't even know what 1,300% is. 3.1 billion, again another FBI stat, 3.1 billion US dollars have been lost in scams in the last 18 months. These people are getting away with it. Despite all of those attacks, 47,000 per month reported, only 57 cybercrime prosecutions in 2016. They can't catch them. They will probably disagree with me because that's his job, okay? But they are struggling. 57 cybercrime prosecutions, and guess what? Less than 10 convictions. They get away with it because you can't find them. If they can crack your system, I wouldn't even know where to start. to crack someone's internet system or to crack their IT, whatever it's called. Okay, that's how technophobic I am. These kids know how to do it and they know how to hide themselves from it as well. Okay, so you're not safe. It's basically the point I'm driving across here. So let's have a look at the evolution of cyber risk. Where has cyber risk come from? When the IT systems were originally designed, security wasn't an issue. No one thought of security there, and it's always had to be retrofitted. Okay, so if you go into something, if you're designing a system, you design it for functionality first. You don't design it for security. You know, what could possibly go wrong? Okay, and the drive for online business growth has overridden the call for security considerations. Again, your boss will come to you, or if you are the boss, you'll go to your staff saying, I want more, we need to do more, we need to do more, we need to grow our systems. You know, your IT man's saying, oh well, you know, we can do this, we can do that, but are you considering the security behind it? Often not. And a typical one, IT spend remains high, but the IT security spend is relatively low. Okay, so you're putting your head in that sand here. You don't want to know that you're vulnerable. When you're spending all this money on IT, you don't want to necessarily spend it on security. And again, most programmers and website designers build for functionality. Okay, it's got to work. It doesn't matter whether it's secure, it's just got to work. The reliance on IT and the criminal use of it has resulted in the growth of incidents of theft, fraud, and business interruption. That just goes back to the previous slide. Okay, the clever guys out there that are hacking your computer, they know all of the previous stats as well. They know how easy it is. All right, and they're abusing it accordingly. So what can be done? You might think not a lot really, but there can be. There are things that you can do. Set up a firewall. Most people will probably have a firewall, but you've got to make sure it's maintained. It doesn't have any portholes in it or any little gaps to let people in. Install antivirus protection software across your computing network. Use encryption on anything that leaves your offices, any mobile devices, any computers, laptops, USB ports, flash drives, magnetic tape, anything that you use to store data and take it away from your office should be encrypted. Ensure you're compliant with the payment card industry data security standards if you're doing financial transactions. That's to avoid people coming after you when something has gone wrong, because not only can you have your computers hacked, when they steal stuff from you, you then get the authorities coming down on you to find out why you weren't secure. Okay, so you get a fine as well, double whammy. Or you can consult with a specialist cybersecurity expert to perform a security audit. I think we've got one in the room somewhere, haven't we? Anyone? And the final thing, obviously, by a cyber policy. What's covered? Well, I'm glad you asked me that. Right, so on our latest insurance product here, these are the highlights on there. I'm actually going to read the depth of cover that the cyber policy will offer you. So the first head of cover is called Multimedia Internet Liability. What the hell's that? So it will cover you for any loss that you become legally obligated to pay as a result of a claim first made against you during the period of insurance arising out of the performance of media activities, including negligence of or breach of duty to use reasonable skill and care, negligent misrepresentation or negligent misstatement, libel, slander, defamation, product disparagement or trade libel, malicious or falsehood, infringement of copyright or domain name or the dilution of infringement of any trademark, service name or trade name, plagiarism or piracy, breach of confidential or misuse of information. It's pretty broad. Okay? That's just one head of cover. Security and piracy liability will pay on your behalf loss that you become legally obligated to pay as a result of a claim first made against you in writing arising out of the piracy and security breach. Okay, so if your security is breached, it's a head of cover. Now, whilst I'm going through these heads of cover, the other thing you get with an insurance policy, or certainly with our insurance policy, and I don't want to harp on about how great we are, but I might. What you also get, you get a crisis management firm. Okay, so if you do have a problem, pick up the phone, call the crisis management firm, and they will have feet on the ground at your premises within 6 to 12 hours. Probably just to pull the plug out of the wall initially, but then they'll remediate anything that you've got, anything that's happened. Okay, so any crisis management costs that you incur as a result of calling that company are also covered by the insurance policy. Emergency response costs. So if you have to take drastic action because something has happened, you need to do something urgently, emergency costs, they're also covered. Extortion demands. David talked about ransomware, crypto locking, all of that sort of thing where they're asking for a ransom, covered by the insurance policy. Regulatory investigations. So if you are being investigated by a regulator or the government or a local authority or the ROSers, God help you, the cost to indemnify yourself or to protect yourself in that investigation is also covered by the policy. Probably most importantly, business interruption. Any loss of profit or operational expenses that you have incurred as a result of a crime, a cyber crime, covered by the insurance policy. Surprisingly, we're in business really, isn't it? Loss of electronic data. So you often hear about, what was it, the hotel chain recently that got hacked, where they're taking all of the data, taking lots of names and things like that. I wish I could remember it. No. Thank you very much. A huge loss of data. Okay, any costs involved with that, where your data has been breached or has been hacked, covered by the insurance policy. I ran out of space on that page. Again, so what's not covered? Most of these you'll pretty much understand why we don't cover them. It's like crashing your car and then buying insurance the next day. Claims or circumstances you know about prior to buying the policy. Any fraud or dishonesty, so if any of your employees or management have been involved in any fraud that's related to the crime, not covered by the policy. Fines and assessments. It's against public policy in this country to insure against fines. Doesn't matter what the fine is, okay? It's against public policy. But we do say in the policy we don't pay fines where they're not insurable. So if the law changes on paying fines, we'll pay the fine as well. Claims arising from any failure to install and maintain automatically provided updates from the software provider. Again, I keep referring back to David. David advised you how important updates are. So if you don't do those updates, you're leaving yourselves open. It's like leaving the front door open when you go out go on holiday for a week. People are going to come in and going to steal stuff. Exactly the same thing. Okay, so if you haven't got your front door locked and bolted, then the claim's not payable. The old one we all get caught with wear and tear or failure of any electronic equipment in normal use. So if your hardware is not up to the task, that's not our problem, I'm afraid. Any actual or alleged physical damage or destruction of any tangible property, including resulting loss of use. So if your systems are controlling, digging equipment or cranes, and someone hacks into it and the crane then takes down, half of Maldon High Street or something like that, that physical damage won't be covered. The hack onto your system will be covered, but any resultant physical damage isn't covered.
Would an employee opening an attachment in just a silly moment and shutting down the system be covered? So like an internal whoopsie of an employee, would that be covered?
Absolutely, yeah. As long as it's not fraud.
As long as it's not fraud. What about social engineering? Is that covered by your policy?
Social engineering, that comes back to one of the things we were talking about earlier, like the fake boss type thing.
Yeah.
Where your managing director's Facebook page, LinkedIn page, MySpace, all that sort of stuff is hacked, and you find out enough information to pretend you're that person. Mm-hmm. If you suffer a fraud as a result of that, absolutely. Sounds expensive, doesn't it? How much do we reckon? Companies with turnover of up to £5 million. Okay, this is the lowest threshold I'm talking to you about here. The limit of liability, so the minimum limit of liability we offer is £50,000. It's only £9,600, I'm just joking. £112.50 plus insurance premium tax. The government's got to get this price.
Per year.
Per year, per annum, absolutely. What's that, £10 a month? You want to buy higher limits? £250,000, £187.50. What we've done, we've deliberately made this insurance product competitively priced. I nearly said cheaply. Competitively priced. The reason we've done that, okay, my job, as I said to you before, I'm a business development guy for our company. I go on the road and I talk to people like Lynn. Other brokers around the country do also exist, by the way. But when I talk to those brokers, they all say that their clients are interested in cyber insurance. Who here is not interested in cyber insurance today after what you've heard? Exactly. Everyone's interested in it until you get the bill. And most commonly I'm seeing that the bill or the cost of insurance for a cyber product is over £1,000 policy. How many of you would still be interested at that sort of price? Not many. And that's what we found. So it's pointless having the best product in the market. It's like being, the prettiest bird of prey on top of the tree, unless you actually fly down and kill something and they're starved to death. So we want to make this product affordable so that you all buy it. And if you all buy it, the chances are that maybe one of you might have a problem, but now I've got premium from all of you and we can afford to pay that claim. Okay? Other limits available? If you want to buy a £500,000 limit, £225. How much is your system worth? How much will it cost to repair? £1 million costs you £300. It's not expensive. Can you afford not to have it after what you've heard David say? If you want to buy it, consult your broker. Okay? You may think the brokers are out there earning commission, and yes, they do earn commission. They get paid a fortune, in actual fact. So consult a broker. Yes, they earn a commission, but they do a bloody good job. Okay? They know all of the products that are out there. They know what's cost effective. They know what's good colour. Okay? And they know where to get it for you. So you can do a lot worse. How's that?
Well done, Gary.
You say companies, we have a group of companies, you've been able to cover groups all interlinked.
It depends how you have your network set up. If you're networking off of one computer or one server, then absolutely. If you've got multiple systems individually, they're individually vulnerable. So one of the things I didn't cover,